Hi class. Last exercise, exercise 3, I put out some slides before the exercise was due, just to try to get you over some roadblocks that you might have been facing in answering those. This exercise, I'm releasing the slides and video after, just in the hope that maybe you get more out of it. We're getting to the point where things are complicated enough that there can be many different ways to satisfy the requirements of the question. And you might have found one and learned from that, but you might have not have been aware of another. And so I'm just trying to release this video so that you might benefit. This video focuses on exercise 4, question 2. And we're this one concerned kind of a walking steps competition where the input data were dictionaries covering all the teams on each of the 3 days of a competition. You were asked to write a program to identify the winner and the average number of steps. There's kind of 2 broad sections of a program that answer this. The first is adding together the daily dictionaries to get a dictionary that has total steps per team. And then second, finally, is to identify the winning team and the average steps. And these 2 values, or these 2 properties, I should say, don't want to confuse the syntax, correspond to the keys in that dictionary, and then the values, just a quick values divided by day to get the average. So adding the dictionaries together is maybe a more straightforward process. This example comes from the website that's listed here, Geeks for Geeks. You could Google something like adding dictionary values together with shared keys. This example has 2 dictionaries, Dict1 and Dict2, each that has 3 items. The keys are not totally shared. There's only one overlap, 4 here. The code that accomplishes this after the dictionaries are entered is a for loop. So for key in Dict2, it kind of settles on one of those dictionaries. And then there's a conditional execution. If the key is in Dict1, this value, the Dict2 key value, is assigned a new value. It's going to be what it was plus the value for that same key in Dict1. And if not, just skips. Then it gets printed. The output looks like this. All the keys are the same as in Dict2, whatever's on the left side of that assignment. Geeks and geek are the same value because those keys are not present in Dict1. But for 4, that key, which had been 300, it gets incremented by 25, so the output would be 325. And now in this class's problem, there's a little bit of modification to this example. You have 3 dictionaries to add together, not 2, so you'll need another plus sign here. But on the other hand, the input data are set up so that all the keys are shared. All the teams participate for all 3 days. There isn't, a late entrant or someone who drops off, I guess. They go the first day, but then they're so far behind they don't even continue. So on the one hand, you need to make this addition assignment statement a bit longer, but on the other one, you don't need this conditional execution. Your script doesn't have to check if the team is in every daily dictionary because they are. This is still kind of an important thing to do, something I kept in the exercise, just because data aren't given to you always in a way that makes them easy to analyze. So they could be added day to day. You could have these 3 dictionaries, but in order to identify the total winner of the event, you will need to add them together. So for identifying the winning team and the average number of steps, there are two options. On this slide, I cover what I call option one, using a .get and .values methods for dictionaries, and I guess the max method too for iterables, including lists. This is found right up at this URL, how to find the max value in a dictionary in Python. So the input dictionary here is simplified A1, B2, C3, and likewise. Ours is a bit longer, but this makes it easier to interpret. The input in the exercise example must be the summed. So it could be the max, or you could have already calculated the average. But it needs to be a single input, because we're not interested in daily winners. There's no kind of second place prize, I guess. So this first section, the max method and dict.get, to find the max value in a dictionary. And if you also provide here value for key, what you get out of that is the max key. So here, max key equals, run that max method, so the parentheses open here, and they should close right after the get. The website makes this element a little bit small, so it has a toggle bar that didn't work when I screenshotted. But note there is a close parenthesis after this, and just a close parenthesis. You provide first here the name of the input dictionary, right here. And then also after a comma, key parameter, key equals a dictionary.get. You print out that max key, and what do you get? A C. C here for 3. So this bit of code could give you the winning team. Now to get the highest number of steps, you could call this .values method on the dictionary. So here you just have the name of the dictionary, period, values with open close but empty parentheses, and the output of that is a list of 1, 2, 3. You can call the max function on that list to give you the maximum value, and that's going to be 3. So the only thing you have to remember here is to divide by the number of days in the competition. So in our case, 3. The second option, option 2 I call it, is to use a for loop to run through all of the items, a list of all of the items in the dictionary, using a tuple, two-element tuple as the looping variable. So here's just copy-pasted out of a script. Define the function find winner. Input is going to be a dictionary, the Walker dict. So the list, Walker list, is going to be assigned the value, the output of the .items method. So you remember this returns a list. It inputs a dictionary, returns a list, the elements of which are tuples, and they're key value pairs for the dictionary. So this Walker list kind of can be helpful to use the data type in the variable name, just to help you remember, is the output of items. So a list of 2-element tuples. Two variables are initialed with 0 or no value. That's max v for max value, and then winner, which is going to be a string. It is a string now. It just doesn't have anything in it. So then the for loop. So the for loop traverses through Walker list, and the looping variable is not just a single value, but it's a tuple with 2 items in it. One the key, one the value, to help you remember. And there's conditional execution here. If the value, that's going to be number of steps, is greater than max v, initially 0, then max v is changed to become that value. And then winner is going to be assigned a value of the key. So it'll change from being empty to being the team name. So when the team name and value change, value and key will change. Max V and winner, these variables may or may not be changed, depending on the order of the dictionary items that the loop goes through. If you threw in a print statement here, you could see, who's the winner at any given time, before all the tallies come in. And then a two-item tuple is also used to return those winner and max V values from the function. So here, when the function is called, find winner, walker dict, it's assigned the output. Winner and max V are assigned to these variables called winner and score. You don't need the same name here. It's kind of confusing to have it. Could be called anything, but the first value returned here is going to be assigned to this variable here, and then the second value in that tuple going to be assigned to this second variable here. And then it's a Python 2 print statement, script the winner is, and then the winning team with a score of the score. So this also doesn't take the average. You'd want to do that.